Hey everyone, Sparks back with another Silver and Blood video. I am recording this live on stream and I want to talk about what you should use your Selector box or coffin on in Silver and Blood, okay? Now, the quick answer I will tell you, if you're a new player and you have not crossed the 160 wall, use it on whatever you need to for that, okay? So if you go to Transfusion, you're going to put your 5 highest level units in this. You should already know about this. And to get past 160, 5 of these units need to be at Spirit Siphon 3, or like max limit break, as you would say in a lot of games, okay? I've gotten to that point, okay? So all 5 of these units, if we go and take a look at my vassals, are already, Otavia's way past that, Bella's at Spirit Siphon 3, and then I have Darcius and Piera, and I have Amy. They're all able to get me past the 160 wall, okay? Until you have guaranteed yourself that factor, just keep your coffins in your box. Don't use them, because these are your insurance policy. I was just giving someone advice on this in chat while streaming right now, okay? So that is the quick answer. If you haven't passed the 160 wall yet, save them to be able to break through that. Use it for the copies that you're going to need for that, okay? Now, if you've already done that, or you have 5 units that are set, like me, you're ready to go, let's talk about what are good choices to use this on. It's important to know that the pool of units that you can select from here never changes, okay? So no matter what new units are released, you can just like ignore that, because this is going to stay the same. These are all the original units that were in the game that you can use this on, okay? So we'll kind of go down the list and talk about pros and cons, okay? Joanna, a little mid, I'm not gonna lie, okay? I probably wouldn't use it on her. She is kind of an interesting character. I won't give spoilers. She's powerful in the lore, a little mid here in the game. Amy, one of my personal favorite characters. She's super funny, and she has a transcendent form, which is very, very good. This form, also on the opposite side, not very good. Like, probably worse than Joanne. I wouldn't use this on Amy, realistically speaking. Cecia, this is who I'm going to use one of mine on. A pretty solid unit, okay? I would recommend that probably a lot of people could use this on Cecia, but we'll come back in a little bit to kind of like give a definitive answer on these. Bella, realistically, probably the best unit on this list that you could use her on. I don't think there's anybody that you could use. Well, maybe Acapella. There are a couple on here, but Bella is a very good unit. The thing is, again, if you're not using this to break through the 160 wall, everybody gets a free Bella. Don't use it just to get another copy of Bella. So even though Bella is very, very good, don't go there. Kane, the internet has pretty universally decided is trash. Don't use it on Kane. Agaris, similar to Joanne, also kind of mid. Probably wouldn't recommend using it on Agaris. Gilrain. Gilrain is, I forget what they're called. The like rush units, assassins, the ones that will like immediately travel forward when you start the battle. Those can be useful, and Gilrain is one of the best of those type of units. So Gilrain, I think, is a candidate. He's still like kind of mid. He's not like super high on a lot of tier lists that I've seen, but he is a solid unit, and again, probably the best of that type of unit of the assassins that will rush forward. Now, another one just like that is Haughty, the same kind of functionality, but worse. I think Gilrain is just a better version. So you could consider using it on Gilrain. Haughty, probably not so much, even though I do like her. I can't honestly recommend her. Spectral Gilrain, this is the same character actually. Spectral Gilrain, pretty good, pretty good. He's one of those units that will like teleport to the back and then just like start attacking enemies like behind the lines. In a way, this can almost be just like a better version of like the assassins that rush forward. Depends on the exact situation. Spectral Gilrain, I would say a month ago, maybe would be a solid recommendation. He can be good in PvP, has his uses. The thing is, we recently got Stella, and I think Stella just kind of outclasses him in every way. So maybe if you don't have Stella, consider Spectral Gilrain. Spectral Gilrain can actually be quite good. primarily for PvP. But again, if you have Stella, it's probably just going to be like not as useful. You know what I mean? Mass also functions in the same way. Another personal favorite unit of mine. She has a self-destruct skill that will do massive damage to one unit. Pretty cool. Also can be kind of good in PvP. But realistically, not super good. Although I've just had fun doing some like different things. Just playing around with her. I'm a fan, but I can't recommend you actually use it. Ressa, another DPS that's just kind of mid. Another unit that I'm also a fan of. I like her design. Interesting story, but probably don't want to use it on her. Darcius, a very solid unit. Darcius is cool. She is a Crescent Moon and pairs extremely well with Transcendent Haughty. She is a melee damage dealer, which a lot of your better units are going to be magic dealers. So Darcius kind of like fills a niche. Really solid, honestly. This is a potential use. She's not like the best unit ever, but I think realistically might be one of the ones that makes it into various compositions more often than a lot of these. Frederick, a solid tank. If you still need a tank, maybe for arena. Again, everybody's going to have Bella, but there are definitely better tanks out there like Quinn, but he's solid. So maybe if you're still looking for like a third tank for your PvP teams, potentially. Theophane, same story. I would say even a slightly better tank than Frederick. Again, there are even better ones out there like Quinn, Bella, Transcendent Amy. So good, but really only if you like really need a tank. Acapella, probably the best unit, okay? If you don't have Acapella, use it on an Acapella. In fact, some people recommend using your Selector Coffin for Acapella even before you break the 160 wall. That's how good Acapella is. Probably the best support in the game. She heals, she buffs. Probably the best Crescent Moon. She's just super, super good. So if you don't have Acapella, this is the answer. Use it on Acapella. I would still hold off on this until, again, you've broken the 160 wall. But Acapella is the best choice on here. So if you don't have Acapella, get Acapella. Piera, a cool unit. She fits onto the summoning team, and I think the summoning team is getting like even better, especially with just getting Genevieve. Particularly if you also have Transcendent Noah, you can make a really strong summoning team, and Piera is super synergistic and is going to be like very good on that team. On her own, not a very good unit, okay? She's specifically for a very synergistic summoning team. So if you're building that, Piera could be a good choice. Starry-Eyed Iona. Another unit that might be like kind of rivaling Acapella for best unit on here. She provides shields, really, really good. One of the best new moons in the game. If you don't have Starry-Eyed Iona, this is again a very, very strong choice for you to choose. You're going to have two of these in the game. So if you don't have either one of them, potentially your choices are going to be Acapella and Starry-Eyed Iona, and then you're set. They're probably your two strongest options on here. Adina, a solid healer, pretty good, but I think the fact that everybody, of course, has SR Iona, Adina is basically just like a slightly better version than Iona, but Iona is pretty good, so you might not really need her. And then, you know, we have a lot of other like really strong healers and supports as well, such as like Starry-Eyed Iona and Acapella. So Adina, you know, probably realistically you're not really going to choose. Nicole, great design. She's an ice skater. She's cool. I like her. She's another one of those like assassin units that rushes forward. Decent, but again, I think if you're going for one of those, realistically, you probably would want to be going for Gilrain if you need to fill that niche. Thibault, a strong unit, and one that I have not personally experimented a lot with, but is actually pretty dang good. I think it's unlikely with some of the units that we've already discussed that you're actually going to use your Selector Coffin on Thibault, but a pretty strong unit, and someone that you may want to consider if you don't have her yet and you have some of the other units we've already talked about. Triss, on the other hand, not a very good unit. I probably wouldn't get her. Selena, I have no personal use, but I haven't really seen her do anything that great. Is not like super high on a lot of tier lists. Probably wouldn't use it on her. Then Helsing. All right, so this is the third unit that is probably like your top three, okay? So again, Acapella, then Starry-Eyed Iona, and then Van Helsing might be the third best. Van Helsing is one of the best marksmen in the game and one of the best physical DPS units in the game, and just generally a good DPS. Before Timeless Iona came out, he was kind of considered the best DPS overall. Timeless Iona is just better than everything now. But Van Helsing is a very, very good unit. Very good in PvP, extremely good in Time Worn Mausoleum. Just kind of a solid unit in general. And so you could do a lot worse than picking Van Helsing. So I would say if you don't have Starry-Eyed Iona or Acapella, or if you already have them rather, and you don't have Van Helsing, grab Van Helsing. Otavia, a solid option, my personal favorite unit. She's not like the best, like again, Van Helsing, probably going to be better. Otavia is sort of unique in that she is a magic damage dealing melee unit, and she can also heal herself. So she'll absorb part of the damage she does. There are some situations where she can just solo things because she's actually healing for more damage than she's taking. It's kind of nuts. But I don't want to overstate how good she is. You know, realistically, I think there are better options on here, but is very solid. I would say she's kind of like the second tier of units you might want to consider if you have some of the other really OP ones that we talked about. Yggdrasil, a tank. I mean, you know, a tank is going to tank. There isn't like a huge spread amongst these, to be honest. But it's just, again, everybody has Bella. Bella's going to be better, and there's just better tanks that you can use. Yggdrasil, not super great. Augustine is a very unique unit. Augustine has one of these abilities that he will start by grabbing a unit and pulling them in, okay? As far as I know, I think he's the only one that does this. Comment below if you know if there's another unit that does this. I can't think of any off the top of my head. This can be really handy in specific situations where you need to grab a unit. So maybe there's like a caster that you just cannot get through because they have too many things in front, and you're trying to push campaign, and Augustine can grab them forward, and then you're going to take them out. Or maybe in PvP, you want to grab their Timeless Iona or whatever and pull her forward and take her out. Or maybe there's like those stages where you need to defend an ally or something, and you can grab a unit that's attacking them and pull them out. So Augustine, pretty cool, useful unit. Probably not what you want to choose from here just because of some of the other amazing units we've talked about, but he is a possibility. So quick review. I know this video is getting a little bit long. I would say your best options are definitely going to be Acapella number 1, number 2 Starry-Eyed Iona, and then number 3 is going to be Van Helsing. After that, I would say it kind of drops off, but I would say your tier kind of 2 options, if you're already set on those, are going to be Cessia, as well as maybe Gilrain or Spectral Gilrain, but I think I might be being generous on those. Darcius definitely is in that tier 2 discussion. Piera, if you're trying to build the summoning team and don't have her. And then Otavia and Augustine. So those are my recommendations. Let me know what you guys think. And again, I can't stress this enough. Just save them if you haven't passed the 160 wall and have 5 that are at least Spirit Siphon 3 already. All right, thanks for watching, guys. I have a link to my Discord in the description below. We have a community that talks about Silver and Blood, as well as Nikkei and a bunch of other gacha games. Also a link to my Twitch channel and some other videos that you might be interested in. All right, catch you guys in the next video or stream.